Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having an amazing day. And in today's video, I wanted to share with you a interview that Elon Musk recently did with CNBC, where he talked about what a good advertising means to him. And he touched on a few very great things about what makes a good ads and what makes a good ads and generally where he thinks marketing and ads is trending toward in the future. So I included the interview and this video clip in the description below so you can check it out. And long story short, really the central idea that he really touched on and mentioned in this video is the fact that he thinks advertising needs to be as close to content as possible. And I think it's such a profound statement, and I have just a lot of thoughts and really insights about why I definitely agree with him and where I think marketing paid ads are headed toward for D2C and business brands and what you can take away from this insight and lesson. So, as we're not going to play that video here, so I'm just going to briefly I'm just going to touch on a few elements that he mentioned in the video that he thinks makes a good ad. So the number one thing is it needs to be informative. Number two, it needs to be entertaining. Number three, it needs to be aesthetically pleasing. And number four, customers don't regret watching it after. If we take a step back and think about what composes a good ad in the past, in the 90s or in the 80s, it's really a very direct response, heavy, loaded editorial ads where it's usually printed on a newspaper where it looks like an article, but it's in fact an ad. Those ads are masked as editorial content. However, essentially, they're really trying to sell some type of products. So, this idea that advertising needs to be as close to content as possible can be traced all the way back to 30, 40, or even 50 years ago. And when it comes down to it, I firmly believe this is really what differentiates a brand and a great successful business, D2C business, from a brand and business that is still struggling with content and advertising. So now we have these four elements. How exactly are we going to create better quality ads by focusing on these four things? So as a creative agency, we create a ton of video creatives, UGCs for brands and clients. And really from our perspective, I might be biased, but I really think video content is the best thing that you could one and create that will give you as close to content as possible, especially in today's day and age. As you go onto one of the major social media platforms, the first content you probably see will be a short form video. So that's probably why the number one thing I wanted to say here is if you are a D2C and e-commerce brand and you haven't really doubled into video creatives, please do so now because you will be left behind in the dust by competitors as they are creating and producing content at a large scale with different creators, whether that is UGC or different types of content. And number two, this is something we are also started to develop in our overall content strategy for clients, which is we do a mix of content where it's not only just direct response type of UGCs, but we also do educational content that really start to look like content. And lesson three, if you're a brand that's still struggling with content creation and creating engaging ads and videos, I want you to approach your content, your strategy from a perspective of simply being informative, being helpful for your audience. Think about what the audience and customers need to know before they purchase your products. I think this is a great mindset that allows you to put yourself into your customers' shoes to understand what type of content, what type of topics you need to talk about in order to let them eventually become and convert to be your customers. And number four, this is really, I want to predict a little bit about the general direction where consumer brands and D2C brands are heading toward. Obviously there are many ways that you can scale and become a successful brand. But the thing that I just firmly believe now that will really differentiate a brand from other similar competitors in the industry is the fact that they are really great at creating content. Whether that is partnering with influencers, having a great community, or knowing how to develop, how to create and orchestrate virality, All these things will really give a brand a huge advantage over others in the industry and overall. So I really encourage founders and executive teams to really think about and seriously consider how to maximize the volume of content first, the quality of content, and just relevancy of your content for your audience. And if you are a brand who is currently struggling with producing high converting creatives and content, I left a Calendly link in the description below so you can chat with one of our team members to understand how we could create and produce high quality content in your paid ads to further improve your paid advertising results. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and give a like and follow for more videos like this in the near future.